The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not represent the position of the host, this show, or any organization either party is affiliated with. All content is shared purely for educational and inspirational purposes. Nothing discussed here constitutes professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to independently verify any information before acting on it. The host is not responsible for any outcomes resulting from guest statements. By listening, you agree that you are solely responsible for how you use the information shared. Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm joined by another special guest, Mert Efe Şensoy, who is joining us all the way from Turkey. If I talk about Mert, then he is a computer engineering student with a business administration minor, an IBM champion, an IBM Z student ambassador. In today's episode, we will talk about the aviation data, machine learning in pricing strategies, enterprise computing, and what it really takes to stand out early in your career. But before we get started, I would like to thank Mert for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Mert Efe Şensoy. I'm currently studying in TED University in computer engineering, and I'm doing a business administration minor. I'm quite keen on the IBM technologies, and I've been working as an IBM Z ambassador for about 2 years. And recently, I got recognized as an IBM champion, and hopefully, I'm planning to do much more stuff in the future.
That's great. So, but as you mentioned, and as we all know, that you are a computer engineering student with a business administration minor, all at the same time. So, could you please walk us through how that this journey started? Was this always the plan for you, or it all happened suddenly when you came up with one by one these things? So, how it all started?
To be honest, it was not a perfectly planned path for from day one. Uh, I really wanted to improve myself since the beginning of the day that I entered the university, and throughout the way, I did a lot of different stuff. I founded my university's currently functioning aviation and space uh, student club, and then we also accredited for the American Institute of Avionics and Astronautics. We did a lot of stuff there. We did a lot of projects, and uh, the more that I do interesting stuff, the more I encountered many lovely people that mentored me, helped me throughout the way. And uh, as I go through, I discovered IBM, I discovered IBM Z. I decided to start doing my business administration minor, and uh, one day a mentor from IBMZ Student Ambassadorship Program suggested me that I should actually apply to Turkish Airlines,
Okay.
since there's a very big opportunity of enrich data that I could work on and improve myself. And well, today I find myself here, and I hope that this journey will continue on.
Yes, it will. So overall, how was the experience as an IBM champion? Did you find any changes once you become the IBM champion? Did you find any any new opportunities after becoming an IBM champion in this industry?
Well, of course, one of the most interesting perks that in the IBM Championship program is that you get to meet a lot of people, and
Yes.
uh, in an interesting way, I was always the mentee role in the mentee role, and nowadays I find myself in the mentor role quite sometimes, and it boggles my mind quite a lot because I'm still on a journey to learn, and in this program I'm like learning a lot of stuff as well with the meetings that I get with the IBM champions. They give a lot of vision and perspective to my life. So this is a very nice opportunity for me to as well.
Yes, right. Yeah, definitely. Like as a three-time IBM champion, I can also agree here because this is the program that is not only allowing you to expose or explore these technologies related to IBM, but it is also providing a platform where we can interact with like-minded persons. Doesn't matter the age of experience, everyone has something to share with another one, right? So that's the beauty of this program. Like you can interact, you can collaborate, you can discuss on the things that are moving around the technology. So that's a great thing that this program offer. Well, so what do you think, like if we particularly talk about the data science, what's the gap between how data science is taught at the university and how it actually works inside the company like Turkish Airlines?
Um, well, th that is an interesting topic because I usually have this kind of conversation with my professors because in the universities we are taught to build complex and perfect systems,
Yeah.
but when you come to the industry, you will have seen much more than that. Like you, when you build a perfectly established, very well taught database, it does not solve all your problems. But the way that you use that database in a business model will actually create that impact much bigger than how you designed the database itself. So when you come to the industry, you will realize that you have to shift your focus to uh, more understanding and interpreting stuff than
Practical
engineering
things.
the system before you build it. So in a way that it teaches you and deconstructs the things that you learn in the university and rebuilds them with the fundamentals that you learn back at the university. In a way that I can just say that you need the fundamentals from the university, but you definitely need a hands-on experience when you come to the industry.
Correct. Yeah. And if we particularly talk about the aviation department, so it generates enormous of data, right? For flight
Yeah.
operation, pricing, passenger behavior. So when we are comparing all these kind of data, what do you think? Like, what's the hardest data problem in the industry that most of the people even don't talk about? What is that one pain point when we are talking about these kind of data in aviation department?
I guess one of the hardest problem is not the amount of data, because
Okay.
the more the data you have is actually maybe you'll get a much bigger picture in something, but coordination of different data realities, since in aviation, most of the aviation companies in general comes from many systems and business contexts. So a bus- the major challenge is actually a business challenge that to make sure that data is consistent, maybe timely, and you have to interpret it enough to understand and support decisions.
Correct.
So as long as you don't have enough context and background information about data, the amount of it is not the problem, but you have to make sure you guide it to a business model context.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I think those who are dealing with these kind of data, they have the clarity like how it actually matters and how you have to figure out the actual pain point when we are dealing with the data, because it's not the amount, it is the impact. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you one question about the mainframe, because most of your work is totally depend on mainframe. But people of your age, young developers, or I would say the Gen Z especially, so they never touched a mainframe, right? So what made you go deep into the IBM Z and enterprise computing? And when the world, because we all know that nowadays everyone is talking about cloud, AI, in this era, why you chose to start your career with mainframe, and what was your mindset when you started with it?
There's an interesting question, and I actually answered it quite a while. Um, well, my journey to at joining IBM Z is actually a very weird one. Most of the students just tell I entered the room and there it was. I saw IBM Z systems, and I didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
My journey is something similar to that.
Okay.
I accidentally found out that there's like different opportunities of actually different industry about how the internet works and how the internet infrastructure, ATMs, hospitals, how the airlines function in the background, and uh, that technical side just kind of hooked me up. And when I entered to see the mainframe systems, and uh, to be honest, the culture behind it made me stay,
Mm-hmm.
because the more you learn and the more you teach to your peers, the more you got value from the community. And to, I have to say that the IBM community is one of the most wholesome communities that I have encountered
Yes.
uh, throughout my university life. And I'm very happy to see that I'm actually more in part of it and giving out quality to it. So unlike my peers, hopefully they will also join IBM ecosystem. My peers are like, the way I see it is that they just jump into trends, AI, cloud, the new
Yeah.
systems, but they also need. I try to help them understand that there's a much deeper into IBM Z that help me appreciate the systems that we all use behind.
Correct.
So it is very quite an important step that I had in my life.
Okay, so let's say, because we all know that there are lots of myths around mainframe, that it is a dying technology, that it is going to change, it is going
Yeah.
to die in the upcoming years. So if you had to answer this, or if you have to break down this myth to your young generation friends, so how you will say, like, what is your opinion? Is it a dying technology, or it is going by the time?
Well, actually, I got this comment from a lot of professors in my university, and I said they've been telling that mainframes are gonna die since the 90s, but uh, well, when the cloud systems crash, when the infrastructure just goes out, the bank still works,
Yes,
your
because of mainframe.
money is still intact, and sometimes and somehow they don't forget that how much money that you have in your bank accounts, which will be very fatal. So that's why the mainframes will uh, be in the system as long as there's money to protect, and there's a lot of systems that we have to protect.
I think this is a perfect example to tell the people that no, it is not going to die. It is a technology that is playing a vital role in the industry. So yeah, that's true. And those, especially those like who believe in such kind of myth, hear it from other expert in the industry that yes, it is still playing a vital role in the overall industry. So stay consistent with it. Okay, so now, Mert, we will talk about the another role of yours, because you are also contributing as the chair member of the Volunteer Youth Commission at TUSIVE. which is a leadership in a volunteer organization. So I believe like leadership in a volunteer organization is is a different skill from the technical work. So what do you think? Like, what has it taught you that data or the code never could, or anything that you feel that yes, this is something that you learned from this particular profile?
Well, the interesting thing is that data and code could never teach you how to uh, do networking with other people,
Correct.
and uh, in a way that you have to meet with new people, you have to meet people that are much older than, more senior than you, and you have to um, t- uh, take opportunities from their experiences.
Yes.
And one of the things that I had encountered before is that I didn't know TÜSİAV before, but in with the help of the establishment's foundation, Mr. Veli Saritoprak, especially me and my friends, to uh, learn about what is networking with other people, what is business
Correct.
logic, uh, what you have to do to explain yourself, and that's how I actually joined their foundation. And in a way that we try to help their events, we try to help their foundation, and I realized that volunteering is kind of a different way that you have to understand to motivate people without any
Yes.
formal authority. And these kind of uh, they usually call it soft skills, but
Correct.
they're one of the hardest skills that you have to get in order to be better outside of data and code, because if you get stuck in that technical part, you will never actually get to have the chance to explain what you did with that
Correct.
technical work.
Yeah, I am also completely agree with these points because if you are learning or you are spending the time with data coding, that is fine. Like this is a skill set that you need for your work. But beyond these things, there are too many things that could be learned only in these kind of roles when you are interacting with the like-minded people who are also into the industry, working together, collaborations. So these are the things that you should know because especially in the era of AI, we all know that coding can be done in within a few seconds, right? Just with a one prompt. But if you know how to understand the requirement, how to deliver the things, how to communicate, then that's really what matters because AI is there, but still you need to figure out like what exactly your client wants to implement. In that phase, you need a proper communication skill. You need a proper collaboration skill so that you can learn with such kind of roles. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so now although we have plenty of things that we can discuss here Mert, with you, but before we conclude, because we are on short on time, so I just want to take a couple of more questions before we conclude the actual discussion. So before we conclude it, I just want to know like if a um, first year computer engineering student came to you today asking about how to stand out, not only academically but also professionally. So what would be your honest advice for them? What would be the do's and don'ts for them so that they can succeed in their career and they can fulfill the job requirement as well?
Um, that is one of the questions that I get quite a lot. In
Mhm.
our university, we have a special program, a mentorship program to help first year computer engineering, actually first year all faculty students
Okay.
to get help and mentorship from more junior and senior students.
Mm-hmm.
And I helped around 30 40 students with their early university careers. And
Okay.
most of the time I just say, you will not know what you're gonna do, and when you decide on what you're gonna do, you will not know how you will do it.
Yes.
But every time that you don't know something, you just have to say, I don't know it. You will have to admit that you don't know it, but you will have to agree that you will learn somehow.
Correct.
Because every time that I just do something, I'm not an expert in it. I lead uh, rocket technofest projects. We did UAV projects. We did technical project. We did IBM Z projects, and we are actually going to do other different projects in different areas. And all the time that at the beginning I didn't know how to do it, and I admitted that, but I make sure I study consistently without any intensity, and I set up some goals to myself. And at the end of those projects, I learn not become an expert, but know how to do it. So they shouldn't be scared of doing anything or stepping into anything. They will just have to admit that they don't know, and they will just have to agree that they will learn somehow.
Correct. Yeah, I think these are the great advice that anyone can follow, especially those who are into their graduation phase. So they can follow these kind of instructions or advices so that they can make the things work better for them. So that's a great advice. Okay. So now, moving ahead, Mert, we will talk about the support of network, because what we believe, like behind every person, there is a support of network who had a defining impact on their journey. So, looking back on your own career, who were those people around you who had a defining impact on your journey so far?
Um, Throughout throughout my early career, I had the chance to get a lot of mentorship from a lot of people since the beginning of my first year. And in my first year, my mentor was Berk Ali Demir, who is a friend of mine in my university. He helped me a lot. He guided me a lot, and later I joined Turkish Airlines. I joined IBM Z student ambassador, and throughout that journey, my close partner, Bengisu CIVDI, helped me a lot, motivate me, make sure that I'm motivated and continue on my journey. And a lot of people in Turkish Airlines helped me a lot. My managers, my co-workers, uh, uh, and for example, I can say Pembecioğlu, one of my lovely co-worker who is
Yes.
working with me on our projects in the company. And also I want to thank to Mr. Saritoprak with his guidance on TÜSİAV, and uh, he says there's a university for education, but after you graduate you will see the University of Life. And he helped me a lot with my life experience. So I just wanna thank him as well.
All right. So yeah, I think now it's time to know a bit more about the country you belong from. So, as a proud citizen of Turkey, what you think? Like, what's the one best thing about the Turkey that you feel too proud to share with our global audience? I know there are plenty of other things in which Turkey has contributed to the global world, but one thing that is close to your heart that you wish to share with the rest of the people. So, what you will share here?
Um, I would emphasize human warmth, resilience, and cultural depth. And I'm quite also proud of the talent and adaptability of the young people here, especially Gen Z of Turkey. I'm so sure that our generation will do a lot of great things for this country and the world as well.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much, Mert, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information about the aviation industry and your contribution for different IBM initiatives. So, it was really a pleasure talking to you here. And thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thank you once again for hosting me.
Thank you.